Welcome to Heron Heads. My name is Julio, and I'm joined today by some friends and fellow Inter Miami fans, Dave, Chris, and Jose. And on behalf of the guys, we want to thank you for joining us on our very first episode here on the Heron Heads podcast, your very first stop for all things Inter Miami. For those of you watching on YouTube, thanks for stopping by, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoy the show. Today, we're going to focus on the quarterfinals match in the Leagues Cup between Inter Miami and Charlotte FC. But before we get into that, I want to gauge your guys' excitement level, not just on the game for Friday, but just watching Messi and Inter Miami on this run of form that they've been on in the Leagues Cup. So, Jose, what's been your biggest takeaway from those games?
No, I mean, I've been super excited in general watching Messi. I've never seen him in a team that I root for, particularly in soccer. I've never rooted for a guy like this in soccer. So it's obviously gotten everyone way more interested. Then all of a sudden you got young guys like Kramaski, stepping to the plate. You got Jordi Alba just throwing dimes all around the field, assists everywhere. Sergio Busquets being a surgeon, just pushing the ball up the pitch. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, it's like Jose said, it's hard to not be excited. As they say down here in Miami, if you're not excited, check your pulse. But basically, yeah, really excited for like Jose said, Kramaski. But we have a couple of young guys that haven't joined the club quite yet, and I want to see how they're incorporated with the La Liga guys that we also have. It's gonna be kind of like a hot knife going through butter with with the talent that Miami has, and the rest of the league has some catching up to do, and that's something that I'm excited to see is how do other people stack up in the future.
Yeah, so just to kind of reiterate what they said, it's brought excitement down here around soccer that there hasn't been in the past. Inter Miami has been around for a few years now. There's always been that interest slightly around town, but nothing like it's been now. It's completely changed how people view soccer down here. As far as Messi goes, it's opened my eyes to what an amazing player he is. He's 36 years old, so we're not seeing him at his prime. I can't imagine how great he was back in the Barcelona days. I never really saw much of those matches just because different time zones. I was super interested in the international play, but wow, it's been definitely an eye opener down here, and I can't wait to see what else he could bring as the weeks go on. Definitely.
Yeah, it's just amazing when you see Messi because I have for a while watched a lot of European soccer, and I don't know if it's because it's generally a more like level playing field, but he seems so much better than everybody that it just feels unfair. And I think as we look ahead to the Charlotte match, I don't know if they have even remotely close to an answer to what Messi, even like Alba, Busquets, I don't think they're gonna have anything that can handle what they've been doing. Like their left back's gonna be out with yellow card accumulation. So they're gonna have to play someone that either hasn't played in a long time or hasn't played for the team, period. In They have a new transfer at left back that just started with the club, I think about a week ago or a little over a week ago. And I don't know what their answer is going to be. I mean, we were looking at highlights yesterday, and even
Yeah,
though they've allowed like a low amount of goals, I think that's more a byproduct of other teams missing opportunities.
yeah, like you said, from the highlights we've seen from the League Cup that we watched yesterday, it seems like they either lucked out on certain plays or the other team was not so lucky, and I just don't think they're going to have an answer to our attack.
Their main way of scoring that I've noticed was the counters.
Yeah,
So that's the one thing that can be a little concerning for us is our defense. Since we have those wing backs that like to come up front, we saw it last game where those counters they didn't happen often, but my God, when they happened legitimately, and they were cutting right through us. And we're hoping that our center backs would catch up, and Miller did have that really nice stop, but we're gonna have to hold on to our butts a little bit and hope that we don't miss as many opportunities as we did this last game.
What I'm hoping is that we can maintain the possession way more than Charlotte. If we can control the game from the midfield, they're not gonna. It's not gonna be a close game. I don't expect it to be very close if we're gonna have Messi and dominating with Busquets up front. Just they don't have the facilities, big man. That's the main.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't scored particularly much in the Leagues Cup, and I think like a portion of their goals have come from own goals, or I think they had like one penalty. I don't see the attacking threat coming from them, and we're very prone to getting counterattacked. I totally agree with you, and I think to your point, Dave, like last game we even saw at times Kamal Miller running into the box like he's Antonio Rudiger, when Alba and Yedlin we know are already pushed really high up the field. So then who's at the back? Just like it's just Christoph in the back by himself.
Yeah,
and that's a big concern.
The nimble giant that he is.
Yeah. I mean,
and I wonder,
I saw him turning like a truck, and like he couldn't catch up to anyone that was running behind him.
And I wonder if that's just Tata thinking, hey, we're gonna score a bunch of goals on you, and
the best defense is great offense.
Well, Tata's like his MO is just very, very aggressive, right? And I think we do have an opportunity to overwhelm Charlotte. And even though they're going to have like a very congested area in our attacking third, I think that we do need to be careful because Charlotte's going to be looking for the break, because I do think we're going to control possession, even though they might have the numbers in midfield most of the time. I think our passing is starting to improve a little bit, as we've seen over the last few games. And I just don't think they're really going to have an answer for it that's effective consistently. They might get like one or two, and obviously we have to be very careful and hope that our defensive awareness is good enough that they're positioned in a way that they can kind of stop counterattacks. But I just don't see I don't see Inter Miami losing this game unless they beat themselves.
What do you think? What do you think is like? Do you think that other MLS teams are using this Leagues Cup as kind of like a petri dish to see what works against Inter Miami? Like the first game, everybody was playing off of Messi. Everybody looked like they were just in awe. Second game, Atlanta's just blitzing him all day. That didn't work. Then this last game,
Orlando FC.
Yeah, and then this last game, they just countered us. Like that was like their thing. I don't know if it was by design or not, but that's what they were doing.
It worked.
I'm curious to see what Charlotte draws up, if they have anything.
I don't think Dallas is a particularly good offensive team either, and they scored 4 goals on us. Like they chopped us up on the counters
pretty easily too.
Yeah,
besides that own goal, but
right. Which even still, like that was still a counter,
which
Taylor
might have been a goal in itself.
Yeah, that ball got through. Right. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I definitely think, to your point, Dave, I definitely think MLS. They have to be paying attention to this, because it was a complete failure by Cruz Azul in that first game against us. Even though Messi only played like 20 minutes, like he destroyed them when he came on. And then Orlando did a little bit better of a job, but even still, like it wasn't that effective. But they have to be scouting and understanding, like, yes, Miami's in last place in the MLS, but they're way more formidable. Yeah, they're way more formidable an opponent. Like you can't take anything that happened before Messi and Alba and Busquets and all these players joining. Yeah, it's just like all that historical data kind of goes out the window, and like this is our sample set now.
Mm-hmm.
When you the thing is also that when you have Charlotte FC, that their last, in the Leagues Cup, there's a tale of two stories a little bit, where you have Charlotte where they've scored mainly 2 goals every game, right? It was 0-0 versus Cruz Azul, which we were also in a low scoring game with Cruz Azul, but Messi was also brought in the second half.
The last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was, 30 minutes.
And with a few training sessions.
Exactly. So it's one of those things where we with Messi, we scored over 3 goals every game. And instantly when he went in versus Cruz Azul, he scored.
I mean, it's what, 3 straight games with 2 goals for just Messi?
Just Messi, yeah.
And we've missed some really good opportunities. Like other players have missed really good chances.
Well, that last game, that was part of the frustrating part. It was just how many times we get
different
nice
looks,
passes in the boxes, and
Like David said, they've all given us different looks. It's not like it's all been uniform. They've all tried different things. It's not going to work.
I think the one thing they're really going to try to do is just not foul anywhere
Yeah.
near the box.
Well, yeah, I mean
anywhere
that's
10 feet outside of the
been-
box, they're not going to foul.
That's been
such
it
danger
It might
zone.
have flown before, but now it's like an automatic. Like it's like
But-
80% chance it's going.
yeah. But I think
An
Go ahead,
interesting thing that I saw teams doing that it did seem to work a little bit against us was when they weren't giving Sergio when they had to mark him. If they marked him, all of a sudden I saw that we were constantly being a little bit like, okay, how are we going to push the ball up? If he's being marked, it makes it a little bit more difficult because it forces someone else like Arroyo to all of a sudden have to try and push it up. Kramaski was doing a very good
Well,
job.
Gomez, that's why that last game Gomez was the one having to do it, and he wasn't up for that pass.
No.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you're relying on these guys, Gomez and Kramaski, the young, they're 18, 20 years old. And that's what teams want, right? They'd rather they have the ball than Sergio or Alba on the wing or Messi, right?
yeah, I
Somebody
think
else has to step up.
I think being very aggressive on Busquets really affects how we're able to play and get into like our offense and our possession
hold the
game.
ball and hold the
Yeah.
possession.
I think when we turn the opposing team over, right? When we get possession of the ball, and then I think
Lights out.
well, yeah, but I think the goal by the opposing team is to really press Busquets because he functions essentially as the connecting point from the defense to the offense.
He's our
And if
sucker.
someone either is on his back, like man marking him really tightly, or just fouling him and just disrupting the play, I think that's definitely a recipe for at least slowing us down.
Disrupting. Yeah,
Yeah,
disrupting.
just so that the defense can get set because we look great on counters because like Alba's flying down the left side, Yedlin's flying down the right side. Like it doesn't
And he's
matter
only gonna
which
get
side
better.
it is. He's only going to get better.
Yeah.
And that the same goes for Gomez, the same goes for Busquets, even for Messi. Like Messi's doing incredibly well, and he just because he's brilliant. But like when other players even more so learn to play off of him, it's gonna be like really scary.
Liquid.
Yeah, it's gonna be very liquid. Total football coming to Miami. But I think it's really interesting. Like in the framework of the Charlotte game, just understanding like with the way they play, it's mostly very defensive with one or two attacking options when they go to counter. I think
which is crazy.
I think their formula is going to be to just try to stop Busquets and then
they had the most conceded
everyone
goals
in
in the
front of them.
MLS in the MLS this season. So it's just funny you saying that, right?
Yeah,
they're highly defensive in the
I'm
Leagues Cup, but they literally lead. With
but
the
I'm
most
scratching
goals.
my head as how they've made it this far in the Leagues Cup too.
Yeah,
Like it just seems
well,
so.
Yeah, like we mentioned, they're
left back.
one of the worst teams along with Miami in MLS. They're
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 places ahead of them.
Yeah,
So they aren't great either, but they've
No.
made it just as far. So
no.
but they didn't get Messi,
Right,
and they didn't
right.
get Alba, and they didn't get
Right.
Busquets. They've won 2 of the games in the Leagues Cup on penalties, if I'm not mistaken. So it's just like that's kind of a coin toss. Like, yes, obviously there's skill involved, but I mean, like they kind of just survived some of these games.
2 on
One of those
penalties,
games-
and then the last one was the own goal, and
Yeah,
it was within a minute. It was they
Right.
scored and then their own goal. And
right.
they
Yeah,
won.
yeah. It was like a capitulation by the other team.
We have a 7-goal differential in the Leagues Cup. They have a 4-goal differential in the Leagues Cup. And what's crazy is that we didn't have Messi one of those full games.
Yeah, no, I think our attack is very overwhelming, as has been evident by these games, and our defense is extremely suspect. But I don't know. I just feel like
being very kind. Just calling them
I
suckers.
just feel like with how Charlotte play, we're gonna have some success in keeping the plays in front of us. Like the trouble is when anyone starts running at our defense, but I feel like they're all kind of learning the new system. Like even Alba playing a full 90 minutes, like that was a change in. I mean, we had Allen there before, and Allen's not going to run up and down the
Well,
wings like Alba. So Kamal maybe had the mindset of like, oh, like this is an opportunity for me to go forward, but that doesn't really exist anymore.
Well, last game we tried to
position.
implement Gomez, right? Last game we tried to implement Gomez, the new signee, and ultimately, guess what? He didn't have it. I don't know what it was. He had a lot of juice. He had a lot of excitement.
He started fouling like right out the gate.
Yeah. I mean,
He
he's
had
got a
2
lot
He
of.
didn't have a good game.
He did not have a good game. So, but then what happens? They put in Kramaski, instant goal, right away.
Yeah.
Well,
Instant goal.
they put him in later in the game too.
Yeah.
And that I
True.
think that defense is an older defense too. So having that young guy
True.
come in with all that speed, that
Yeah.
makes a big difference. But yeah, also very different type of player. Gomez is
Yes.
more defensive. Kramaski
Yeah,
is-
I think Gomez was just the entire game trying to do way too much. And he just kind of needs to just our success will come from holding possession and maintaining that possession and just that pressure of us having the ball and there being a chance that Messi gets on the ball in or around the box. It's just going to stress the defense and pull them out of position. Because when Messi gets the ball, 5 defenders are coming, like an exorbitant amount of people. Yeah, an exorbitant amount of people are coming at him. So then someone's open, like in basketball, right? Like someone comes on the double, someone's open.
Mm-hmm.
And I think having the possession just exploits those weaknesses in any defense.
And I think when there's 2 guys on Messi, he's still open.
Yeah.
What's nice is when they crash him, that's when it gives us the opportunity to see him do some of his nicest passes and
yeah, exactly.
His magic.
Like I saw, it was the first game, so I didn't have the package yet to watch the game, so I was watching the highlights as they were posted on Twitter, and he just did a little flick, he looked like a lacrosse stick, just kind of pushing the ball, and I'm like, how did he do that? And I think the defender was looking at the ball as it went over his head. He was like, how the hell did he do that? So it's just that I live for that. Because that you're right. That's stuff that we haven't seen.
The plays that blow my mind is when the defender's like within 3 feet of Messi, and Messi's at a standstill, but he can still just get the ball around the defender. Like he's just staring the defender down basically, and then just quickly dribbles with his feet. Like he shuffles his feet, and then he's just magically behind the defender or picking out someone on a pass that's inch perfect. And it's unbelievable.
It could impact.
Like I said, I've never watched him in detail like that, and it's like mind blowing. It's insane.
Yeah, because even the snippets you would catch before when he was in Europe, you would see the highlight. Like you would see a free kick goal, and you just know that's his thing. Or you would see like a really nice run of dribbling. But now we're watching like so detailed, like under a microscope, and you're just seeing like every little time he touches the ball, like magic happens.
And just to fuel a little bit of the rivalry. What is it in 3.5 games? Messi has two free kick goals, and
that's right.
That's what double of what Cristiano Ronaldo has in 3 years.
Just saying.
I'm going
for those keeping score.
That's all there is to say.
I'm just curious, guys.
Quick question to bring it back to Messi being the savior of the team. And David almost alluded to it a little earlier. That someone has to step up at some point. Are we expected to see Messi be the savior, the god every single game? Is it okay if he has a bad game? And who's going to take over if he does? I mean,
he's not going to have a bad game. And it would be beautiful if someone stepped up. But if we're being honest, I don't think with the 3 guys that they just got from La Liga. I know Messi didn't come directly from La Liga, but
Messi's scorers,
Barcelona guys,
yeah,
no one needs.
Exactly. Or the scorers that we have.
Exactly.
You can point them out.
Messi's not going to score a brace every single game, and Josef Martinez needs to be scoring more. I think Campana deserves more playing time. Martinez is staying in the game way too long, and I don't know if it's just like I understand he has a little bit better ball skill, and Campana's more like a target man, but Josef's not bringing that much. Like he's playing very selflessly to assist Messi on certain things, but he's just not he's not having the killer instinct that we're used to with him. And Robert Taylor had a really nice run of form, but then last game was really off.
Down to earth. Yeah.
And yeah, someone needs to step up, right? Like Messi's balling, Busquets is balling, like the new guys are balling, except for Gomez. Like the Barcelona boys are balling, right?
But to carry the team, like Chris asked,
no, it's not going to be carried.
No, I mean, I think without him, no one can carry it. Like
you have to expect other players around the team to contribute,
to do their part.
Yeah, like Taylor's goals have been outstanding. Like
it was huge that in that first game. You know, he was huge.
Cracker.
Yeah, but I feel like you need the true number 9s, the strikers need to step up. They need to be doing something that they have to be like a danger point that relieves a little bit of the pressure off of Messi, as far as like Messi's drawing 3 people and then more people pay attention to the striker than right now. and then it leaves an alley for someone else, for an Alaba coming down the wing, for Taylor to get maybe an even better opportunity, for Kramaski crashing the box. Like, it opens up space for everyone when you have not just Messi being the constant threat.
But
We're
that's
looking at
why,
you,
like,
Joseph. We're looking
no,
at
yeah,
you, Robert
that's why.
Taylor.
That's
We're
why I
looking at
wouldn't
you,
mind.
Kramaski.
That's why I wouldn't mind Campana getting a little more run over.
Yeah. I think it would be.
It adds
Well,
a different dynamic.
I think it would be interesting to see like a Campana start, honestly, and see
Right.
how he interacts with Messi like fresh from the get-go. Because we know Messi's going to be walking around, but when he gets the ball, he's going to be like running up and down and looking for opportunities to create dangerous chances.
But it's not just that; it's Campana brings a different dynamic. Martinez is another one of these shorter,
Yeah.
nimble guys, and he doesn't have the blazing speed that he used to.
Right.
But Campana actually, not only does he bring a different type of striker in, but when it comes to set pieces and things like that, we have now somebody to freaking put the goal in.
Yeah.
Right now, yeah, our set piece goal was it's either Leo Messi putting it in or a defender smashing it in by accident. Like that.
He was living out his moment.
Great header.
I mean, if I was him, I would do
He
the same
was
thing.
like,
I'd tell my
"This is
grandchildren,
my
"That's what I
chance.
do."
Messi assisting me on a goal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna smash it into the back of my own net. I don't care." Yeah, but to your point, like, if you get Campana in, it changes the dynamic of all the new attacking options, right? Like, if you have Alaba coming down the wing and he's playing some really nice ground passes to the top of the box, but if you have him now with the option of doing an actual like lifted cross into the box and Campana being really good with his head, being able to knock it in, or just causing chaos, right? And then someone ends up on the back of it and just smashes it in. Like, it just opens up more opportunities. I'm not really seeing what Joseph is bringing.
Huge assist Alba did in the last game.
No, his passes are so good. Like, when he goes down and advances the ball up to the wing, he can like, he's so smart with understanding that the defenders are dropping back, and he plays it like just behind the space that they leave behind, and that's right where Messi's going to be, or right where one of our midfielders are crashing. Like, he's just so intelligent and has the vision to see those passes, and it's just it's beautiful. Like, it's honestly beautiful to watch.
I feel like that's what we want Yedlin to be, but it's just not. It's not going to happen.
Yedlin's a finished product. We're not going to get. Yedlin
he's hit his
ceiling.
He's good.
He is what he is.
But he is
he's
what
good,
he
but it's not.
Listen, he had an egregious foul that directly led to the free kick goal last game. The guy was running away from the play, like he was running away from the net, and he was 30 yards away, and Yedlin just pulled him down from the back for no reason.
It's a frustration foul. I can relate.
Yeah,
this is what I do in FIFA all the time. I obliterate somebody for no reason just because I messed up earlier.
Very true.
So I understand where he was coming from.
He's predisposed to do that. Like, he does silly things on defense sometimes, which it's the difference between Alba and Yedlin. One of the many, I think.
That's one thing.
That's the one.
What are you guys thinking about the formations? With having Messi up there, how do you think Charlotte's going to play us?
I think they're just going to try to muck it up, honestly. Like, I think they're going to just try to have as many people in and around the box to make it really difficult for us to find space and find the opportunities to get shots off. I think they're going to try to just bog down the game and play counterattack and try to like hit it. Like, when they get possession back from us, they're just going to try to hit it up to the solo striker who's isolated and hoping that he beats our defense that has been very suspect.
So they're going to need Ashley Westwood to step up.
We're just regular fans of the game, right? Imagine these guys, they're professionals. They see the weakness even deeper than what we see it. You know, they know exactly where to attack. So I'm sure that's going to be part of their game plan. I'm sure they're going to be going.
I would imagine the Charlotte manager is telling the striker, you want to try to get him behind. The center backs on Miami are not pacey. They're not known for their speed, and just try to outrun them to a long ball over the top. Or like you were saying, Jose, like, if Westwood gets a hold of the ball, look for the options on the sides, right? Because we have Alba and Yedlin way up high, and that leaves a lot of space behind them for wide play, right? Like, to get the ball to one of the left, either the left or the right side, and then they look for the striker. I think that's what they're going to try to do. I think they're going to sit back, hope that they can kind of outlast and hit us on a counter. I don't think they have any other option, to be honest. No. Not that I've watched a lot of Charlotte games.
I'm looking at their new left back. That's what I'm interested to see how he settles in with their starter out through yellow card. I mean, that's going to be rough.
I mean, look at how it's been an acclamation for Gomez, right? Like, there's going to be mental break. Like, errors, positional errors. There's going to be passing errors. He's not going to know. He's not going to be so familiar with where everyone's going to be at a given moment, right? Like he doesn't have that
Just like
familiarity with
Messi.
them.
Messi was so bad the first game.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I think Gomez is like a good comp, right? Like
Yeah.
Gomez is a young player
Mm-hmm.
in a new team, in a new system, new
He
manager.
struggled.
Yeah, you're just not familiar with
The
the
first game he
surroundings.
wasn't so bad though. The first game he wasn't so bad, but yeah, the first start he was like, "What the heck is happening?"
Yeah,
First
I
game he
mean
came in
they're
late.
gonna
He
be
came in late off
relying
the bench.
they're gonna be relying for 90 minutes from someone that hasn't played for a long time or hasn't played with this team before. And that's gonna be very
against
difficult against Messi.
against the greatest of all time.
They're
Nice.
yeah, they're like I said, they're gonna try to muck it up and they're gonna try to just hit us on counters as best as they can. And I don't think they're gonna have a choice but to be without the ball for large portions of this game.
I guess going back to personnel on the field, do you think Tata makes any of these changes of the lineup? I know the lineup hasn't come out yet, but are we going to see Martinez change? Are we going to see Gomez out?
I think he might be quicker to move off of Martinez, but I think Martinez gets the start. The one that I'd be very interested in seeing is if Kramaski makes the actual the starting 11.
He was a huge difference maker the last game.
Look, because we didn't have him. Our main thing is offense, right? Can we be okay with starting off slow and risking not getting that offense going? I think they would prefer getting up quick and then subbing in your defensive substitution, as opposed to getting in a hole and then relying on catching up. Because that's a dangerous game.
They're both new players, right? We just got both of them this last transfer window. So
Kramaski's been in the
Yeah,
system.
he's from the youth.
But he was brought up recently.
Right.
Yeah,
right?
but he's been in the program. He's
Yeah.
been training with the
Yeah,
team.
I think I'm a Campana truther, so I think I'm hopeful that he gets the start,
Yeah.
and I actually think that sticks with Gomez. I mean, they brought him in for 2.7 million. They're gonna.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they paid money for him for a reason. Kremaski's young, exciting, and I think he brings a dynamic off the bench, just like last game. He brings pace, energy, and just the youthful exuberance of thinking I can go get it. And it's almost like he doesn't know better, which is a good thing. And I think that's a great impact sub to bring off. And Gomez, I mean, he needs to get experience with this team. And I
Yeah.
think it's almost like
Yeah.
fitting a square peg in a round hole, but we just need to kind of suck it up and get through it and hope that we have the talent that gets us through it and hope that he has the talent, which is why we paid the money to bring him in.
Yeah. Overall, he has. I think he has a lot more upside than Kramaski, right? All around game.
Right now.
Right. Well, yeah, but that's why they paid 2.7 million for him, right? 2.6.
He's old. He's older. He's an older player, older than
Yeah.
Kramaski.
Yeah.
And more established. Yeah, but again, Kramaski is Beckham.
Yeah. He's super exciting to watch right now.
Beckham feels like he discovered Kramaski, and I think that they're pushing it. Plus, being a local kid.
Oh, I love that.
It's something that they want to push.
Yeah, that helps the fans get into it too. If you hear that local kid is playing, Key
Definitely.
Biscayne kid, right, Jose?
Key
I
Biscayne.
love him.
Yeah, I think they stick with Gomez. I think Kramaski is well served to come off the bench and be that energy guy. And I think there's going to be lots of opportunities for Kramaski to have those like starting opportunities. I think right now, I mean, listen, if Miami get past Charlotte, we make it to the semifinals and we're one win away from being guaranteed a CONCACAF Champions League spot, which is huge.
Yeah.
I think the third place winner also gets a spot, but
yes,
if you get to the final, like you're guaranteed a spot, and that is massive.
That's huge, yeah.
First, second, and third.
Options, we haven't had options coming off the bench.
Right. It's nice to
Get
have.
options.
It's nice to be like,
absolutely.
It's like, oh, do we start him? Do we come off the bench?
100%. It's totally different.
It's a nice change.
And actually, this might be a good team to continue or to have continuity from the last game. Not mess with it too much. Maybe play a team that's not as strong as Dallas was, right. and see what continuity could bring. You know, maybe Gomez just had a bad game, and this team could kind of open it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I hope I hope we get a good run, and I hope that we that they try something else. Everyone's tried something different to stop us. What's another? I'm hoping they find another way.
Yeah, I really enjoy seeing like the new players and how they play off of Messi. So like we were saying, I would love to see Campana. I enjoy seeing Robert Taylor. I think even since last year, he's been incredible. He has those like flashes of like a really high level player, and I'm hoping that last game was just kind of a blip.
Yeah, he didn't have a good game at all last game.
Yeah, it's just gonna happen. I mean, not everyone can be Messi. So with that, guys, I think we should go into some match predictions. So, Dave, why don't you start us off?
All right. I think it's going to sound a little crazy, but I think they're going to score 7 goals, but they'll probably we're going to get 1 or 2 counters, and I'm okay with that as long as we score 7. But it's not just that we're going to score 7; it's that we're going to score 7, and our Barcelona boys, each of them will have at least 1 goal. So that's Alba, Busquets, and Messi are all.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your final score is what?
That's a hot take right
7-2.
7-2 for Dave.
Of course.
We'll make sure to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, go ahead. Go ahead with your prediction.
I'm not going to say 7 because I think that's pretty crazy, but hey, it is what it is. I'll say we score four goals again. It's been about 3 or 4 goals every game since Messi's been here. So I say we score 4 goals again. Messi gets another 2. He keeps that streak going with 2 goals, and he'll get 2 assists.
I think we're gonna jump on them early, but I think you're right, Julio. I think they're gonna muck it up a little bit inside. We won't get 4 goals. I think we'll get 3, but we'll have the ball so often that they won't be able to score. And I think this might be Joseph's first time that he scores actually, and he's not so selfless. That'd be nice.
It will be interesting to see if Joseph starts.
He did score that PK.
That's true. That was so weird.
Yeah.
That was so weird. I'm actually gonna go 2-0. I think it is gonna be pretty tough to break down. Yes. But I also think it's gonna be difficult to break down their defense. I think they're gonna really stack their defensive box, and I think it's gonna cause us a lot of frustration. I think we're as observers, we're going to be very frustrated, and we're going to be really upset with like the opportunities that will come few and far between. I think we have too much quality for them to hold us back, and we might get caught on a break or 2, but I'm hopeful that our defenders will be able to deal with the situation, or maybe a calendar save. Exactly.
We didn't touch on Calendar either. He's been pretty good for us.
He's great. From the start of the season, he's been fantastic.
Yeah.
I think he got
That's an important piece he completely blew over.
Yeah, I think he got weirdly exposed in that goal last game. Lokonga?
It's hard to mention him after the 4 goals. It's hard to mention him. It's not. They weren't all his fault. Obviously, they're not. I don't even know how many were actually his fault.
The Taylor one was weird. The own goal was kind of weird.
Yeah, that sucks.
It was like a really slow.
He had a chance to stop it. He kind of hesitated. He was confused. I don't know.
It was a momentum.
All right.
He was mad.
Drake Calendar bounce back game. Let's just leave it at that.
There you go. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, I think with that, we'll wrap this one up. Our first episode here on the Heron Heads. Again, we'd like to thank everyone that's listened all the way through to the end. And, follow us for more. We expect to have a recap show following the game on Friday against Charlotte. And hopefully we will be popping champagne bottles and be cheering and clanging on our pots and pans. So from all of us here,
hope so.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.